So as you're preparing for your practice, go ahead and make your way up to the top of your mat. You might start with a few deep breaths in and out, just to help your arrival as you're making your way here, settling in, getting reacquainted with breath. And as you're breathing in and out, just check in with your body. I might even encourage you to circle your shoulders a few times. We'll be focusing on shoulders today. So let's just give them a little love. Check in with your head and neck. And perhaps just eventually arriving in stillness, standing tall and proud, fully connected, and just continue with slow, steady breaths. Listening to the sound of your breath and feeling your breath move through you. Notice how it circulates through your entire system. Even sending a message to your breath, telling it what you may need this morning. And as you move through your practice, with breath flow and the movement of your body, you'll be taking that journey towards that intention. Just bringing a little bit more awareness to breath. As you inhale, just feel breath rising upward, filling up your lungs. So perhaps a deeper breath, even a louder breath. A slow and controlled exhale, drawing navel inward towards your spine. Good. Maybe a couple more like that. And then we'll prepare our bodies to move. Here we go. As you inhale, extend your arms all the way up into the air, reaching, good extension. And exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and just carefully make your way down, perhaps touching your toes. And inhale, slide your hands up your legs to help you extend your spine. You might even rise up halfway to half forward fold. And then exhale back down to forward fold. And we'll hold here for a few breaths. Perhaps a complete release here. Again, checking in with shoulders. A few circles. You might roll them backward a few times and forward. A gentle nodding of your head. Shake your head. Do another halfway lift. So when inhale, to slide your hands up to your shins or knees, extending your spine, being led by the crown of your head. Exhale again, we'll fold. Perhaps a complete release here as it feels okay for you, releasing head, neck, and shoulders. And then shifting your weight into your heels, bend your knees like you're sitting down into a low chair. Look forward, then extend your arms out to the side as you now grow tall, reaching back up towards the sky. And exhale, you might bring your hands together and down to your heart or arms down by your side. And just hold here for a breath or two. Let's do that same sequence again. Whenever you're ready to move, inhale, float the arms out and up. Good lengthening through the sides of your body. Good. Exhale, let's fold forward. Again, soft knees. Make your way down, maybe a partial fold or all the way down. Inhale, rise up halfway. Feel the crown of your head helping to lead you forward. And the exhale to meld back down. Another full release here as you're able. We're going to continue moving right away. That weight shift into the heels, bend your knees, look forward, and then the extended arms to help you stand tall. Inhale, reaching all the way up, and exhale, hands to heart or arms down by your side. There it is. Good. We'll hold for a moment, few breaths. A reminder that breath will guide us through our practice. I'll focus on our shoulders today. Let's continue. Inhale, let's sweep the arms out and up. Even notice how the shoulders are in effect as you extend your arms into the sky. Exhale, let's swan dive forward. Carefully and slowly make your way down. And inhale, rising halfway or help extend the spine right here. Exhale, fold and bend, getting low enough so you can place your hands on your mat out in front of your feet. And just walk or step both feet back, drawing that straight line in your body, plank pose. Once here, breathe in. And exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. And it guides us right into downward facing dog. And just like our first forward fold, we'll hold this posture for a few breaths. Feel free to hold in stillness or add movement here. So it might be the pedaling of the feet, stretching the calves, your toes, allowing your knees to bend, a little movement through your hips, but also some awareness of the upper body since we're focusing on shoulders. Your fingers might be spread out pretty wide, pressing firmly down into the mat with the palms. A little extra press towards your thumbs and index fingers. So there's an energy and strength in your inner arms. Notice how your shoulders feel here. You might even feel like your chest is kind of sinking down between the arms. Notice how that affects your shoulders. Soften that sensation by sending your upper back forward so you're coming out of that sinking sensation. One more breath in and out, and we'll come out of this inverted posture. Look at the space between your hands, and with an exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of your mat, returning to our forward fold. Inhale, let's extend the spine. Then exhale, fold again. Our weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Let's grow tall, reach into the air. Let's keep the arms up into the air, and as you're able, interlace your fingers, either with the index fingers pointing up, like so, or if you need to have free hands, that's fine, just for a little extra awareness of shoulders. We even do a little side bend. So we're going to inhale, reach right up top, tall at 12 o'clock, and a little tip to your right, just a little bit there, so you feel a little side bend on the left side. We'll inhale and just keep reaching upward at that point. Exhale, if you're able, tip a little bit more towards the right side. Okay, and then we're going to inhale and come right back up to 12 o'clock. Exhale, let's tip to the left side, just a little bit there, just begin. We'll inhale, keep reaching to that point. And exhale, maybe tip over a little bit more. A nice side stretch for the right side. And we'll inhale, come right back up to 12 o'clock. On the exhale, let's release the fingers, come to chair pose. Just briefly here, maybe wide arms or bent elbows, breathe in. And exhale, we'll dive out of the chair, back down towards toes. Inhale, lift up halfway or just fully extend your spine. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the mat, and walk or step both feet back into plank pose. Again, we're just going to hold plank, just do what we did last time. Breathe in first. Exhale, bend knees and hips into the air. Another shortcut to downward facing dog. Stepping into place as you need to, so an adjustment of hands and feet. Again, pressing firmly into the ground with the hands, more pressure towards thumbs and index fingers. Feel that energy in your inner arms, that gentle sink of chest between the arms. Notice what happens in the shoulders, and then soften that by sending upper back and head forward a little bit. Let's continue with the lunge. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reaching long. Exhale, let's step right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel will turn to the floor behind you, that weight shift back into that foot so you feel balanced. We'll inhale and rise up to warrior one. We're going to do the same thing here, finishing on the exhale. Reach high, lunge low, and maybe again interlace fingers. Index fingers pointing towards the ceiling. As you're able, straighten the arms. Your arms might even hug in towards your ears. If that's too tight, or it doesn't feel great, you can bend the elbows or even release the hands. Okay? We're going to inhale here. Exhale, release, fold, hands back down to the mat. Step back, plank pose, the exact same thing, our shortcut to downward facing dog. Bent knees, hips into the sky, and just notice how chest may even naturally kind of sink down between the arms. Okay, and then soften that sensation so it doesn't feel as tight perhaps in the shoulders. Then inhale, extend left leg up into the air behind you. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat here. Right heel will turn to the floor. Feel that strong foundation. When you're ready, inhale, hinge your way up to warrior one. Hold on the exhale. Same thing, we'll interlace fingers as you're able. Index fingers pointing up. Straight arms or softened elbows, or if you need to, just release. Okay? We'll inhale. And exhale, release the hands, fold and bend, hands to the mat. Back to our plank pose. Hold for a moment. This time we will complete the series. First an inhale. Exhale, bend elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs as you lower your way down. Nice. Chaturanga Dandasana, first one. Roll shoulders back as you open up your heart in either up dog or a cobra pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to immediately get out of this posture. Breathe in. Exhale, lower the knees to the ground, soft landing there, and then sit back into hero. Since that was a lot of work on our hands already, do a little counter stretch with the hands. Yeah, you might do a gentle press of the tops of the hands into the mat, very gentle. I usually do like 3 little pulses on both hands. Okay, another thing you can do, just a gentle circle of the wrists, wiggle your fingers. Do that anytime you feel like, oh, that's a lot of force flexing in the hands. Always take a moment to kind of rest your wrists as you need to. Okay? Go ahead and continue resting for a moment. We'll take a seat in the center of the mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. Go ahead and hug knees into chest. Before we take our bridge pose, you might be holding onto the knees and drawing them straight up towards chest, but then take them wide. Not only will you get a hip opener, but notice the backs of your shoulders. See if you can make contact with the floor with the backs of the shoulders, okay? So it perhaps feels like your whole entire back is making some contact with the ground. You might even bring the knees back up to center if you'd like, and then set feet onto the floor as we prepare for bridge pose, our back bend. And once here, you'll inhale, just fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty the belly, nice core connection, and then just lift your hips up and away from the ground. Adjusting the feet as you need to. And here a little more awareness of the upper body. As you're able, maybe getting your arms and shoulders a bit underneath you. You might need to rock your upper body left and right a few times to get the shoulders and arms underneath you. If you're able to do so, maybe interlace your fingers underneath you. If that doesn't seem to quite work here, you can just keep the arms flat on the floor or even bend your elbows at 90 degrees. Okay, and pressing the backs of the arms, including the backs of the shoulders, into the mat. Help you lift and open. Just take 3 more breaths here. Strong, energized breathing. That effort of pressing down into the earth. To come out of the pose, we'll wiggle the feet forward a little bit. Extend your arms into the air. That should release the shoulders out from underneath you. And then roll your way down to the ground. We're going to do the exact same thing as we did when we set up. So bring the knees into chest. Take them wide for the hip opener. Notice the backs of the shoulders make contact with the ground. Soften here for a moment. We're going to make our way up to seated. Now you could just roll to one side and press yourself up to seated, or rock forward and back a few times to rock up to seated, and we'll come to boat pose, yeah. You might flex the feet here, lifting, nice extended spine, holding onto the legs as you need to, just to generate that strength and energy in the body. And if you'd like, even releasing the legs, freeing up the hands. Deep breathing here. And let's move from here. So breathing in, and exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side. So you can swing the feet back or hop back into plank pose. We'll do another chaturanga here. You can always bring knees to the floor first, then chest. Inhale, roll shoulders back to help open the heart for your back bend. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Just continue with a lunge sequence and inhale to extend right leg up behind you. Let's go ahead and open it up. So bend your knee, bring your heel down towards backside. A little hip opener while we're here. Good. And when you exhale, go ahead and unwind it and step right foot to the top of the mat. Once landed, left heel turns to the floor behind you. Find your balance. Rise up, warrior one. And exhale, opening to warrior two. Good. While we settle into this nice wide stance and lunge, let's spin the palms up, bend elbows, and bring the elbows in towards ribs. A little opening of the chest, engaging the upper, your back body a little bit. Okay. And we'll re-extend the arms, flip the palms down, and then side angle pose. Follow the right arm forward, rotate the arms. That's it. We're going to do a few things here with our arms and shoulders, paying attention mostly to the left arm extending in the air. Okay, but your right arm, it might be straight and you're reaching towards the floor, or it might be bent and resting on the leg. That's fine. Now left hand, let's bring that left hand down behind you to low back perhaps. A few circles with that shoulder, left shoulder. 3 circles backward. On that third rotation, just hold it back so you feel the heart and chest opening. Okay. You're going to re-extend this left arm to the back of the room, okay, where your left foot is, okay, the back end of your mat, and then take it up like you're doing a big slow wave, like you're waving at someone, up towards the ceiling, and then over your head towards the front of the room. That rotation through the shoulder. Nice. Yes. Let's breathe in. On our exhale, we'll carefully turn, fold, hands to the mat. Just step back into down dog with both feet on the ground. And again, you might naturally feel the sinking of the chest and head kind of between the arms, then soften that. And then the other side when you're ready. Inhale, extending left leg into the air. We'll bend and twist open, so bend the knee, heel comes down. A little lift of the knee. Good. A little twist and hip opener. With your exhale, we'll unwind it and step left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor for our warrior one setup. Nice balance. Inhale, hinge your way up, rising, warrior one. Exhale, we'll open up to warrior two. Adjusting the feet underneath you as you need to. That's it. Nice, strong, steady balancing posture. Okay, same thing, we'll flip the palms up, bend elbows, squeeze them in towards ribs with the engagement of the back muscles as you're able. Okay, we'll release and re-extend the arms, flip the palms down, and then follow the left arm forward to angle the upper half of the body. And we'll rotate the arms as we move into side angle pose. Same thing, that left arm might be straight, reaching towards the floor. You might even be touching the ground or a stack of blocks. Well, right arm is initially just reaching straight up into the air to help the heart and hip opener. Okay. Now we'll take the right hand down behind you to low back. A few circles, maybe 3 circles or rotations of the right shoulder. Holding it back on that third breath or third rotation. And in that slow wave, we'll start by extending the right hand to the back end of the mat and reach up slowly towards the ceiling, and eventually over your head towards the front end of the mat. Reaching through the fingertips. And once you're there, we'll breathe in. And the exhale, again, we'll turn and fold, hands to the mat. We'll step back into plank pose. And as you'd like, Chaturanga Dandasana, or any variation of a flow here, it could still be that shortcut to down dog. We're going through the full vinyasa. We'll take another seat so you can kneel down and take a seat here. This might be just a regular cross-legged position like easy pose or half lotus. If you need to, you can always sit on something, which I'm doing now. Okay, a couple things here. We're going to do a little shoulder stretch and a twist. We'll start by taking the left arm out across the room. Bring it to the front of the room, just across the body until it's reaching maybe towards the right side. We'll take the other arm and just give it a little hook here and just squeeze or hug it in, okay? And just notice what may be happening kind of from the back body, okay, that rear deltoid across the front to the front deltoid, okay, front portion of the shoulder muscles there. Okay, a little hug. Some deep breathing. Good. Maybe 2 more breaths here. And just a static hold. And what we'll do, okay, so we'll just drop this left hand, take the right hand behind you, just maybe propped on the floor. Just help you inhale to extend the spine, getting nice and tall. Exhale, and just continue just a gentle rotation to the right side of the room. Doesn't have to be too much. Just a little rotation here. What we'll do to get out of the pose, since we're facing the right side of the room, the left hand just reach towards the right side of the room and just kind of a big welcome to everybody. Okay, out to the front, out to the side, there, and then back down, and you just relax. Few movements of the shoulders if you'd like. And then the other sides, we'll take the right arm across or out to the right side of the room, and then slowly to the front, crossing the body, and we'll give it a little hook and hold it in for that stretch. Yes. Good. Maybe just a static hold, but if it feels good, just to give it a little massage. Doesn't have to be much. I'm just gently moving mine up and down. I can feel that in the shoulder there. My shoulders, just like my hips, they get pretty tight as well. Two more breaths. And we'll take this to our twist. So release the hook. This right hand just comes down to that left knee or thigh. Other hand down behind you. Inhale to get a little taller. Exhale, a gentle twist. You don't have to force it. You don't have to go too far at all. Just a little rotation is all. Breathing here. Hopefully the breath feels the same. Doesn't feel strained or awkward or labored. We'll take this right arm and just reach across to the left side of the room. And then that big welcome. Reaching all the way to the right and then back down. Yeah. And maybe some circles there. Yeah. Okay, from seated, we'll just come back to hands and knees. Well, on hands and knees, just cat and cow. Even though this is a nice movement for spine and pelvis, it does affect the shoulders even though your arms aren't moving. Just noticing how the torso kind of moves in relationship to the shoulders. Finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. We'll just take this to a flow, just a lunging flow here in a moment. Pause at tabletop. You might even step your hands forward, spreading out your fingers. Good base. Press strongly into the ground. Again, pressing more towards thumbs and index fingers. Inner arm strength, tuck your toes, and then lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. Here we go, and inhale to extend right leg up. A quick bend and twist, heel down, lifted knee, there's the twist. Immediately unwinding so you can step through, right foot to the top of the mat, left heel will turn to the ground, find that balance. Rising up, warrior 1, reaching high. Exhale, opening to your warrior 2. A quick settling in of the posture. Right away, side angle pose, reaching out. Rotate the arms, that back arm, just that big slow wave. It came from the back, it's up in the air, towards ceiling, and then overhead towards the front of the room. Stay here, breathe in. Exhale, turn, fold, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose, come down if you'd like, or some variation of your vinyasa or flow to return to downward facing dog. Take your time with this. And any fluid motion of the body is fine. Once here, an inhale to extend left leg up and back, bend and twist open. There it is, nice. We'll unwind it and step through when you're ready. Left foot to the top of the mat, warrior 1 set up. Right heel turns to the floor, find your balance, light hands, rise up, there it is. Warrior 1, exhale, opening to warrior 2. Okay, side angle, reaching out, rotate the arms, follow that right arm from the back, right up towards ceiling, and then overhead, reaching through fingertips towards the front of the room. It's okay if that elbow needs to bend, and inhale there. Exhale, turn, fold, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose, complete your series. That's it. Downward facing dog. Once in down dog, we'll take a nice full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet here. Forward fold. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. We'll immediately come up, reach into the sky. Here's some more movement. On the exhale, bring the arms down and behind you. Okay, you can just reach back here, like you're just reaching for the back corners of your mat, or even interlace your fingers here. Either one's fine. Pressing knuckles down towards the floor. Or just reach towards the floor. With folded fingers, you might find that you can maybe roll the shoulders back, kind of wrapping back a little bit, squeezing shoulder blades together, yeah. Nice opening up through the chest. Okay, and as you take those deep breaths, you kind of get a stretch and pull, a gentle one hopefully through the front deltoid area into the chest. Okay, we'll take a slight chair pose, so maybe a little bend of the knees and then tip upper body like you are in chair pose. Doesn't have to be too deep of a seat. Fingers and hands are still reaching behind you. Okay. If your fingers are folded, go ahead and release. Okay. And then just dive forward, and the arms can come down as well. And just feel how that changes from engaged arms to maybe relaxed, heavy arms here at the end. Even give them a little shake. And we'll continue the flow. Monkey pose. Inhale, just rise up halfway or feel the extended spine. Exhale, fold and bend, hand to the mat. Walk, step, or hop both feet back, plank pose. Stay in plank. Let's take right side plank. So right hand will stay on the floor. Left hand reaching into the sky here. Sideways. So some options if you need to or want to. Your right knee can come down to the ground underneath the hip. Okay. If this is too much for the right hand, you can certainly come down to your right arm, your right elbow. Okay. If the legs are straight, Okay, make sure you flex the feet so the legs are strong. They can be stacked or staggered. We're going to breathe in. Good job. Exhale. Let's return to plank pose. Okay, we'll take a little pause here. Bring knees to the floor. Sit back, hero, so you can get off the hands. Give them a little massage there as needed. Okay, especially that right side, since that's the one we were on. Okay. Yeah. Relax a little bit. Whenever you're ready, no rush. Just make your way back out to plank pose. We're just going to do the other side. So left side plank. So left hand will stay on the mat, opening up sideways. Same variations are available to you. You can be on the hand, you can be on the elbow, you can bring left knee to the floor. If legs are straight, they can be stacked or staggered, but do flex the feet so the legs are strong. Lots of energy here, certainly a lot of strength needed for a pose like this. Okay, we're breathing in. Exhale, our return to plank pose. Let's bring knees to the floor. We're going to sit back in child's pose this time. So you might even take the knees wide a little bit. Sit back. You might start with arms extended out in front of you initially. And again, sending or feeling the head and chest kind of sink down between the arms. And just notice that sensation. Then we'll go ahead and allow the arms and shoulders to relax. You might then bring the arms down by your side, like you're reaching back for your feet or heels. And allow your arms just to drop. Your head might be resting on the mat or propped up on a block. Take some deep breaths here. Wonderful. Let's take 3 more breaths in this embryo position. And you bring the arms back out in front of you. Make sure the hands, forearms, and elbows are on the floor. So we're going to step back with the feet, and so we're in what I call Dolphin Plank. So you're just in plank pose, but you're on your elbows or forearms here. So it still requires some strength here. Little shift forward so you can feel that there's a little bit less pressure in the elbows, a little bit more energy and effort are pressed into the hands and forearms, and maybe even lift the hips a little higher. Right hand, if your arms are parallel to one another, your right hand, you might just kind of swing it over towards center so your arm is at an angle, because we're going to open up to the left side of the room. Right arm staying on the floor. And this little angled arm might just help with that balance. Okay, we're going to do the same wave with this left arm. Reach to the back of the room towards your feet, okay, and then back up towards ceiling, and then over your head. Breathe in once you're over your head. Exhale, let's turn to bring the left arm at an angle down to the floor and maybe spin open to the other side. That's it. Yeah, you can stagger the feet for sure. Right arm initially reaching straight up, and then to the back of the room toward your feet, and then up into the air, so that wave, and then overhead towards the front. Breathe in right there. Exhale, let's return to our elbows. Both arms, hold for a second to realign. Set the knees down. One more child's pose. First, an active child's pose, hands out front for a breath or two for a kind of a stretch sensation. And then eventually, that relaxation of sending arms down behind you or towards your feet, allowing the arms and shoulders to completely relax. Some deep breaths here, because that certainly takes a lot of energy and effort to do those side plank poses. So some deep cleansing, even refreshing breaths here. Three more breaths. And take your time and make your way back to child's pose, hands out front, and then eventually up to hands and knees. We'll set up for down dog, but let's do it this way. First, spread out your fingers. Step the hands out in front of you a little bit so they're not directly underneath you, but out in front. Spread out fingers. Tuck your toes, and then a cat-cow. We'll inhale, look up or forward, a little back bend. Exhale, round it out into cat. Hold cat, but then lift knees and then hips into the air. There's the straightening of the spine, maybe a gentle sink of chest between the arms for downward facing. And then a flow. Inhale, extend right leg up. Same bit of a sequence. Bend and twist. Then unwind, stepping through warrior one. Left heel will turn to the floor. Take your time with that as needed. Rise, first warrior. Exhale, opening second warrior. Settling in, maybe a wider stance. Side angle, reach out, rotate arms. Right hand down, left hand reaching straight up towards 12 o'clock. And then you can bring left hand down behind you to low back. You can stay just like this for the next several breaths, or if you'd like, as an option, if you're low enough, maybe even binding the pose, where your right arm reaches underneath the right leg and reaches up to find the left set of fingers, hooking a few of them, okay? Just some different sensations to add. There you go. As you're able, wherever you are in the posture, we're still trying to roll the left shoulder back in order to open up through the chest, yes. So it's okay if you've unbound, okay? We'll inhale and release that bind, reach floor to ceiling, just reopening, there it is. And turn, hands to the floor, step back, plank pose, hold. Shortcut to down dog, bend knees, hips into the sky, re-extended spine. Inhale, extend left leg into the air, bend and twist. We'll unwind to step through. Right heel to the floor, grounded. Long spine, rising up, reaching up, warrior one. Here's our exhale into warrior two. Maybe a little bit more distance between the feet. Nice lunge that eventually will help you with that bind if you happen to go there. Side angle pose, reach out. Rotate arms, reach high and low. Right hand reaching up towards 12 on the clock initially. Feel that nice expansion and opening through chest. And then bring right hand down behind you to low back. Now this could be the end of the pose. Okay? Or if you'd like, if you want to go a little further, I'm going to dive down a little deeper here and maybe go for that bind. Left arm reaching underneath the left leg, hooking a few fingers. As you're able, rolling or wrapping that right shoulder back, opening up through the chest so you're working towards facing, okay, the right side of the room. Long torso, even though you're kind of in this bent over position. Crown of head is pointing in the same direction as your left knee and toes. Let's inhale to release. Reach floor to ceiling, reopening, and a turn. Hands to the floor, right back to down dog, both feet on the floor. Good. With your next exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet here. Inhale, extend spine. Here's a fold. Then a weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Coming up, reaching into the air. Exhale, bring your arms to your side so we can let the arms relax here for a moment. Very nice. Give me a few deep breaths. Quick little check-in with the body. So we'll get into eagle pose. You know, that's that cross-legged position here. And so don't worry too much about the leg posturing, because one of the things you could do is actually cross like I am and having a foot on the floor or even a block, okay? So you don't have to worry too much about the balance, because we're going to focus on the arms mostly, because that's a nice little shoulder pull and stretch, okay? So I'm just going to face this way for a moment. So let's go ahead and inhale, take the arms out and up. Good stretch here towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the arms down slowly. Pay attention to your left arm. You're going to bring it down, Both arms will come in front of you, but your left arm will come down and behind or underneath the right elbow and cross at the elbows there. So you have made an X, flip the palms forward, and then lift. And maybe wrap the arms as you're able, okay? Let's get into the legs. Little bend of the knees. Weight shift into your right foot, root, okay? Exhale to connect to core center so we can pick up that left leg, cross it entirely over the other. And again, you can use the ground here, maybe just toes to the floor, okay? So you don't have to worry too much about the balance, okay? Now, with the crossed arms in front here, if you feel like the arms are just kind of sitting there, that's fine. As you're able, maybe you can send the elbows up a little bit. They may just naturally stop or they don't move at all. We're working towards getting the elbows at shoulder level, okay, right there. And then try to send your elbows forward, okay? And it's going to kind of bring the arms and shoulders more towards the front, which I think broadens the back, okay, and gets that pull and stretch sensation in the rear deltoids. Okay, oops, wrong arms here. Okay, and as you're able, maybe take 2, maybe 3 breaths in your upper back, so you can feel your back expand. Yeah. Okay. We're going to uncross the legs, uncross, plant the feet so you feel solid there. Let's unwrap the arms, slowly reach out, reach up, and then down by your side so you can relax them again. Okay, shake them out even. Good. Alrighty. So really getting into the functionality and the mobility of our shoulders. So let's do the other side. Whenever you're ready, we'll inhale, starting with the arms reaching out and up. Our exhale slowly coming down, paying attention to right arm. We're going to bring it down and behind or underneath the left at the elbows. There's our X. Palms flip forward, then lift. And we start wrapping things up as you're able. Okay. And then a little softness in the knees. Put weight into your left foot. Exhale for that core connection. We'll cross right over left. Again, use the floor here. Okay, once you feel kind of stable there, yes, the legs are squeezing tightly together, but you've got the ground to help you with some balance. Now, elbows here in front. We're trying to lift elbows if they happen to move, so they're maybe at shoulder level. It's okay if they don't move. Okay. Feel like you're trying to send them forward, and that's going to add sensation perhaps in your upper back, in the rear deltoids, or the back portions of the shoulders. Take some deep breaths. Make the back body expand. Each exhale, we're still drawing belly button in towards spine too. 2 more. We're going to flow from here. So let's go ahead and uncross the legs first, plant the feet. Let's slowly unwrap the arms. Big expansion, a nice reopening of the body as you inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Back down to the earth, releasing head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, monkey pose, extended spine. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the mat. Walk, step, or hop both feet back, plank pose. Come down if you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. As you take your back bend, cobra or up dog or sphinx, roll your shoulders back to really open up through the heart space. Gazes forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to bring the knees to the floor here. Okay, I'm going to do a twist, and something you're very familiar with. But we're going to set this up. So you're on hands and knees. Okay, hands are probably right underneath the shoulders, and that's fine for now. But with the right hand, just step your right hand forward just a little bit, like you're about to crawl forward. Just a step of the right hand forward, and step it slightly to your right side towards the edge of the mat. And then your middle finger is probably pointing towards the imaginary 12 on a clock. You're going to turn the palm inward, so maybe that middle finger is pointing towards the 11 on the clock. So that's the right hand positioning. We're going to inhale and take the left arm out to the side, maybe opening up, kind of creating a twist. Exhale, thread the needle. So left arm will come down and behind the right. Your right elbow should bend at a nice right angle here. As the left arm comes all the way down to the floor as you're able. right down to the shoulder. And even put some weight or pressure on that shoulder. Now you can stay just like this, but here's some added things we can do with this. Okay, now when I have my left arm on the floor, I can feel this, but I feel like I can do more. I don't feel like I'm fully weighted as much as I could be on the left shoulder. So my right foot, I'm just kind of tucking the toes and yeah, extending the right leg back so I'm on my toes, leaning more so I'm more on that left arm or left shoulder. But for balance, because I don't want to fall backward, I'm going to swing my right foot over towards this left hand that's extended out in front of me. And I can just keep leaning or rolling backward, yes. And then I feel like I'm a little bit more on that left deltoid. Hopefully that made sense. Yes. Just so bringing that right leg around, just create some balance in the body so you can lean back and add that little extra pressure on the left arm. Okay, to come out of the pose, we're just going to bring that right foot back behind you. You can even set the knee down. Press the right hand into the floor. It's at a right angle, so it should be good leverage to help you lift so you can get out of the pose. Re-extend the left arm out to the side, maybe up, and then down to the mat. Sit back briefly in hero if you need to relax, especially that right hand, okay? And as you're doing so, let me just repeat what we just did, okay? So my hand went forward to the side, spun it in, there's a little twist, here comes the rotation. When I get here, yeah, my arm's on the floor, but I don't feel like I'm really much on the shoulder, so I extended the back leg, started to lean a little bit. For the balance, I brought the foot around, and I can really lean back and have more weight on that shoulder, so leaving less weight there. And got out of the pose, okay? So let's do the other side. So bring the hands out in front. Step the left hand forward a little bit, maybe to the left side a little bit. Spin it inward, so middle finger's pointing towards the 1 or 2 on the clock. Right arm extends out to the right side. Ready for our twist, thread the needle. Right arm coming down, right down to the shoulder. Now this might be enough. Maybe it is enough pressure. But you can always extend that left leg back. Okay, so it's a straight leg, but the toes are still on the floor. Swing this left foot over towards the left side of the room, towards the right hand that's right there, and then just roll backward so you're a little bit more on that rear deltoid, the right shoulder part. Giving it a gentle massage and acupressure, which is a nice little action for the body. Coming out of the pose, you might swing that left leg back behind you. You can set the knee down. Press left hand into the floor, since it's at 90 degrees. So you can release the thread and reopen. There it is. And then hands to the floor in your front. Okay, continue to follow me here. I'm going to send my knees back. I'm just kind of stepping my knees back, but my hips are kind of forward, okay, out in front of the knees. So I can just really just do a push-up. I'm just going to come down, finishing a push-up until I'm all the way onto the belly. And then once you're on the belly, take your arms out to the side, okay, and directly out to the side. You can always change the angle. So this is at 90 degrees, okay, 90 degrees to the legs, but you can always change the angle, maybe send the arms back and down if you need to. So what we'll do here, let me see, which side do I want to do first? Let's bring the right hand in towards shoulder, push into the floor with the right hand and start to turn onto your left side. That's certainly going to affect your left shoulder, okay? And this is why it's okay to change the angle of that arm. If at 90 degrees that doesn't feel right or your arm does not do that, then change the angle. And you can also certainly change, you know, how deep you get into that rotation or how much you're lying on your side. Yeah, and then for balance or a little extra, you can pick up that right leg, bend the right knees, turn that right knee so it's pointing towards the ceiling. Yeah, set the toes down. It's going to be behind that left leg. Maybe you can continue rotating. This is just another way to help balance the body wherever you happen to be. You can keep opening up to affect that left arm, or kind of fold downward or unfold belly and chest towards the floor so there's less pressure on that left arm. 3 more breaths. Okay, then we'll slowly come out of the pose, roll back down onto your belly, extend that back leg. And then extend the right arm straight out to the side. Again, that can be at an angle depending on how it feels when we get into this next side. So left hand will come in underneath the shoulder, press into the floor to help you turn onto your side. Okay, just gauge how far and deep you want to take this. Now I need to bring in a block. I've brought in a block to rest my head. Maybe your head reaches the floor, mine doesn't. Okay. And then if you'd like, picking up the left leg, bend the knee, turn the knee towards ceiling, set the toes on the floor behind the extended right leg, and you've got some balance here. Again, gauging how deep you want to take this stretch. So this is certainly affecting the front deltoid, okay, the front portion of the shoulder, certainly the chest. If you need less, you can always fold back down towards the ground. As you're able, take 3 more breaths. And we'll slowly unwind, returning to the belly. Maybe bring both hands underneath the shoulders, roll shoulders back. You might lift just to locust pose. Just a very low back bend. Excuse me. Then press to hands and knees. Then all the way back to child's pose for that little stretch. And then once again to embryo. Maybe just 5 more slow breaths right here. Sometime after your 5th breath, there's no rush here. Hands can come back out to the front. You'll rise up briefly to hero, and we'll sit off to the side. Swing the legs around to the front, sit in the center of your mat. Roll down onto your back, hug knees into chest. We'll do what we did earlier. Once the knees have hugged in, take them wide for the hip opener. You can certainly take happy baby pose here, okay, eventually, but see if you can get the backs of the shoulders once again to make contact with the ground. Maybe do that first before you take happy baby, because when you reach up for the soles of the feet, your shoulders leave the floor. Three more breaths in your hip opener. After your hip opener, feel free to move into any other pose that might feel good for you here. You might even continue with other hip openers if that's what you're needing. Here can also be an extended legs in the air pose. Maybe another back bend, and maybe certainly a twist to both sides. Yeah. So inverted posture, another hip opener, back bend, twist. And eventually, whenever you feel complete with your moving practice, just guide your way into Shavasana. Return to the awareness of your breath. Still holding in stillness, just notice your breathing. With this awareness, take 5 slow, steady breaths. Reminded of what you've asked of your breath. How could it assist you during your practice? How could it assist you in what you're needing today? Feeling movement now return to your body, subtle movements at first. Still breathing, keeping this connection. When you are ready to move, carefully, slowly roll onto either side of your body, briefly there in a nurturing pose. Still moving as slowly as you can, guide your way up to seated. And just sitting up nice and tall, shoulders feel relaxed and released. Hands can just rest in your lap, or you might even bring hands to heart center. And wherever you are, just taking one more breath. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.